Rubber match in the wild card round. Soldier Field in January means I'm glad I was watching on my television. Bears hosting the Packers at Soldier Field. 213th meeting all time, third in the playoffs, and it was chippy as you could imagine. Early second quarter, Bears down 4. It's 4th and 6. Caleb Williams looking deep, but gets the pass intercepted by Carrington Valentine on the 12. Packers, you're going to have to take the life out of that Bears squad. So early fourth quarter, after some foreshadowing, DeAndre Swift is going to get the handoff and batter his way into the end zone. It's now a 5-point game after the extra point. Now under 7.5 minutes to play. It's 3rd and 9. And Love looks and finds Dobbs, fights for the first down. Drive would continue. 2 plays later, Williams firing one to Olamide Zaccheaus. Next play, Williams with some time, pat and go to DJ Moore, just like the pregame drill. Down and 7 seconds left, last chance for Jordan. He drops the ball, the Bears go drop 8, and he has nowhere to go. He's gonna look.
What's he pointing at?
Just the ethos, which is where the ball falls. Incomplete pass, 31-7 your final in favor of Shaw City. They're grating cheese out there. New on Sports Center, Caleb Williams at the podium.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I was calm. Obviously some frustrating moments. Us just not doing our job. Us, not focus on the details. Us, those type of things that in these games you can't have. And so that was the frustrating part. That's where my frustration. That's where some of the early in the game, kind of me being vocal was coming from, the anger and things like that. Just because it wasn't guys out there not giving effort and things like that. It was just guys just not being on where they need to be at the right time and things like that. And so, we're going to go back. We're going to watch the film. We're going to fix it. But the great thing is we're moving on to the next round, and so we have a shot to be able to do that. And so, being able to stay calm through it, obviously use the frustration, being able to communicate with the guys even through the frustration so that when the moment comes up, we hit and we show up in those moments so we can go win the game.
Caleb, we've talked all season about how different this offense has been for you.
Yeah.
Like calling the 25-yard, the pass to DJ Moore at the end. Mm-hmm. How well did the call work for you?
Yeah, it was a perfect call. We end up throwing a screen early in the game, and so it sets it up, to the same side, and so it sets it up, and then, being able to have that play call that we worked for, I think, the past 3 or 4 weeks, and just didn't use it in those other games, and then, in the right moment at the right time, Coach calls it just as he does, and the guys did a great job selling it. Obviously, DJ made a great catch. Just put the ball out there for him to, go out there, make a catch for us, and go win the game.
When did you see it? And what goes through your mind this split second?
Yeah, once we lined up, I actually knew that we were about to hit it. Just off the demeanor of the guys on the other side of the ball, just had a feeling that was going to be the one. And like I said, the guys did a great job. O-line did a great job blocking. The guys did a great job over there selling the fake, and then obviously DJ going to the sideline.
So let's welcome in NFL analyst Louis Riddick into this conversation on the heels of what you heard Caleb Williams say. He saw on that DJ Moore touchdown, was able to identify coverage and take advantage of the mismatch. But overall, what did you see from him and that Bears team overall in that comeback effort?
Well, first and foremost, you see a lot of resilience and fortitude in regards to them starting the game slow. Overall, they're 2 for 6 on 4th down. I mean, that's just that. And then he has 2 interceptions on 4th down. And so a lot of that, first half, inefficiency to where they find themselves down 3 scores at the half. I mean, what they're showing you by being able to come back out in the second half and starting to string things together and then starting to convert in some of these critical situations, like, the 4th down pass that he winds up ultimately completing, I believe that one was to Roma Dunze, the off-balance throw rolling to his left. I mean, those are the kind of things that you can come back and do simply because you're wired the right way and you have this unshakable belief in yourself and also in the play calling. And I think the play calling and the way the play calling is set up on the defensive side, Caleb was just alluding to it. Look, they knew, based upon what they had run before as far as the wide receiver screen situation, that they knew that it was going to set up just perfectly when they run the screen and go. And he said, look, I was reading the defenders' body language. They probably saw the same formation, the same way in which the players were deployed, and they're thinking, okay, we're in man coverage. As soon as they throw this screen, we're going to come screaming downhill, and we're going to tackle this thing for a TFL or no gain at all. And that's what you saw all three DBs do. As soon as Caleb looked and pump faked, they all came screaming downhill, took their eyes off of their coverage responsibilities, and then all of a sudden DJ Moore's down the sideline uncovered. Those kinds of things come out of, preparation. They come out of this unshakable belief in yourself and in your play caller. And that's why this is a true 60-minute football team. And that's the cool thing about them. You have to watch this team for the full 3.5 hours because you know they're going to be in it to the end. And that's really, in a nutshell, what this Chicago Bears 2025 team is.
And, Louis, I'd go even beyond that. We saw what happened in overtime between these teams in Week 16. It's 185 minutes roughly of football this season. Chicago wins 2 out of the 3 games. They led for 1 minute, 43 seconds total. Other side of the coin, Green Bay up 18 at the half and can't close the door at Soldier Field. What went wrong for the Packers?
I mean, obviously a number of different things. Offensively in the second half, they just weren't as efficient. The protections weren't as good as Matt LaFleur talked about. Obviously the synergy between quarterbacks and wide receivers aren't the same. Obviously, you got to give the Bears some credit because they tightened up their coverage. They started getting a little bit more pressure. So give Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, some credit as well as far as being able to scheme up the protections, get some free runners, get some hits on the quarterback. There's always a give and take in this type of situation, and that's what happens over the course of an NFL game. There's ebbs and flows. Teams go on runs, just like they do in the NBA when you hear people talk about it, in that regard. Teams go on runs in the NFL as well during the course of a game, and the momentum swings. The momentum swung out of the Packers' favor early on in that second half. Then they got it back. Then Jordan, leads them down with to the touchdown pass to Matthew Golden. You're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, now they're back on it. But then here comes Chicago once again. So defensively, they're not able to play tight coverage. They're not able to get enough pressure on Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson is able to get the best of Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Again, those momentum swings. In the end, in the NFL, it's built for parity. It's about in the most crucial of moments. Obviously, 2 minutes to go before the end of the first half, 2 minutes to go in a football game is when usually the cream rises to the top and the teams with the most resilience make the plays that are needed to be made. In Chicago, hey man, they are really on it as far as that's concerned, which makes them awfully, awfully dangerous as they move through the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to make them really difficult to eliminate. For now, they survive and advance. As we advance the show, Louis, we're going to talk to you more coming up. Got a whole bunch more on Wild Card Weekend, but for now, we appreciate it. Thanks.
You bet.
New on SportsCenter, 323 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not enough for Jordan Love.
Yeah, I mean, second half, you just look back on it, and we just couldn't get anything going. Came out, a couple 3-and-outs to start, and, it was really disappointing. I think after the first half we played, being able to drive the ball down and, score, it seemed like every time. Just got to go back and look at it, but, yeah, I mean, it's just lack of execution and finding ways to make plays that really just hurt us.
Did he get trouble sorting out their pressures in the second half?
Yeah, I think we didn't do as good of a job, picking that stuff up, and, it kind of hurt us, not being able to, pick those up and make those big plays down the field. So, yeah, it's something that, like I mentioned before, we'll look at, but it definitely hurt us.
On the play with 7 seconds left, when the snap gets dropped, are you trying, and Matt had mentioned that you might be trying to go to some outside play there and pick up 8-10 yards. Was that the plan on that play, just to pick up a quick 8-10 if they gave you the coverage you wanted, or was that play always going to be a shot play into the end zone?
No, we had a play called, to be able to take a shot to the end zone, and then, depending on the coverage they're playing, how soft they were, try and pick up a easy couple yards of sideline. So that's what we went to. And, when I fumbled the snap and, couldn't get that, it kind of turned into last-second Hail Mary.
Matt just said that the team as a whole needs to do a better job staying composed, and he said you guys were disheveled. we've heard a lot. You guys are still young, but you have that playoff experience. Why do you think that this team doesn't have that composure in some of these big moments still?
Yeah, I don't think we don't have the composure. I think it's just a situation we put ourselves in, jumping out to a lead and doing what we wanted in the first half, and then second half kind of a completely different story. So, I think for any team that's going to be frustrating, and you got to find ways to be able to, overcome that and, get back to it. And I think we did, but it was just a little too late. But I think it's just part of the situation we put ourselves in.
Adding to the frustration, I imagine, for the Packers is Ben Johnson dancing on the grave. At his introductory press conference, Ben Johnson said part of the reason he wanted to join the NFC North as a head coach was, to be quite frank with you, I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. In Johnson's 3 seasons as Lions OC, he went 5-1 against the Packers, and now he can relish in having beaten LaFleur 2 more times this season.